Welcome to Smart Remarks. What do you mean wars cost money? Why do you hate freedom?
The only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
So this past week it was reported that next week President Obama is expected to announce that he'll be sending up to 35,000 more troops to Afghanistan so we might win the war there, whatever that means. And it was a huge disappointment for people like me who thought that Obama had absorbed the lessons of Iraq, that we're not going to import a shiny, happy democracy anywhere, and that an open-ended military commitment, particularly at a time of domestic economic peril, is dangerous. But unfortunately, Obama seems to have given in to the people who never met a war they didn't like, and who think that if we just stay forever and throw ever more resources at it, we'll win, and then we'll have ticker tape parades and all sorts of moral satisfaction. And what's fascinating about this view is that it enjoys tremendous support from those who have spent the past few months rallying in the street about big government and government spending. They complain that the country can't afford health care reform, but apparently we can afford endless war in the Middle East and anywhere else the great American war machine might roll. Wars don't cost real money! Except that, of course, they do. The Congressional Budget Office, for example, says health care reform, which has been so controversial, could cost $849 billion between 2010 and 2019. So far, the war in Afghanistan has cost $229 billion, and with 35,000 more troops going over there, that cost is going to rise significantly. At the same time, the cost of the war in Iraq is now around $700 billion. So we've spent close to $1 trillion on these wars since 2001 with no end in sight. But of course, we can't afford health care reform. No. You know, maybe I'm old school. But I think that American tax dollars are best spent here in America on Americans. But the funny thing about conservatives is they seem to think the people in Afghanistan or Iraq are more deserving of American largesse than actual Americans. The Afghanis are virtuous souls just yearning to breathe free. But the Americans who don't have health care, they're a bunch of grifters. No more money for Americans, but endless wars and endless cost, endless expense. The sad thing is that Obama was elected to put an end to this vicious cycle. American money needs to be invested here, not just in health care, but in jobs programs and in attempts to get our economy restarted again in a sustainable fashion. The more money we spend over there, the less money we got to spend over here. Come home, America, and bring your money with you.
In the robes, put down the weapon of mass destruction and get on the ground. You're under